Curses! The chimera we created was destroyed! There is only one solution to this, said Dr. Lee Kefkin. The monster-enlarging jellyfish Kuragen was launched to enlarge the defeated monster. This will be a cool battle. I can feel my bones tingling with excitement, said Gokai Red. Let's leave them to the battle, said Gokai Yellow. This is their fight. We've done ours. The evil Giraudon was finally rampaging. Let's do battle, said Red Flash. I couldn't agree more with that, said Change Dragon. Alright, it's time we finish this battle, said Red Flash and Change Dragon. So you think you can beat me, eh? Let's see about that, said Giraudon, who began firing the same deadly waves to nullify the two robots. We have to work together if we expect to succeed, said Change Dragon. Remember what Akared said? Both Change Robo and Flash King did a team punch together against Giraudon. Ouch, that hurts, said Giraudon, who was sent reeling by the double punch. Ow! I got more energy again! Giraudon was filled with so much energy from the attack that he exploded!
What is it this time, Finster? A monster that blows itself up?
We did it, said both teams. Meanwhile at Mess, La Dessous was angry at the results of their failures. So it looks like we're left on our own selves now to beat the Flashmen with whatever monster improvements we can have, said La Dessous. As said, sire. As said, I will do more than I have as of present, said Dr. Lee Kefkin, who was now more than ever planning to exploit the weak spot of La Dessous. He was also trying to hire the best allies he could. Karuka was then interested in getting whatever specimens he could to help the Empire. At the United Alliance of Evil headquarters, Radiguet was angry at the results. It turned out to be that Imes and Gilkey managed to survive the Changemen's attack. Apparently, we might as well stick with whatever we have in our ranks. I might be making a mistake with getting too much. On the other hand, I have to think of more cruel plots that'll be so sick the good guys will vomit, said Radiguet. Sire, we're sorry for your loss of this mission, said Tranza. Sorry won't do anything. Pay for it with your sufferings and bleed, said Radiguet. Radiguet fired a series of dangerous lightning on Tranza. Tranza can be seen bleeding. Oh, sure, Radiguet. Get even with me all you want. I will get even with you, said Tranza as he got up. He bent out his anger on the rest. His eyes were flaming red. Emperor, please reconsider, said Gaija, who began to beg. But Gaija was also getting electric shocked, pounded onto the ground. Maybe I should make an invention to give him a sense of humor, said Gaija, who was also bleeding. Gilkey and Imes were terrified as well, thinking their new recruitment may end in jeopardy. I thought you two were potential officers. Maybe I should just vaporize you, said Radiguet. Man, this guy is worse than that oversized planet Bazo, said Imes. Crud, maybe my plans to take over are futile, said Gilkey. Master, may I beg your pardon? If we destroy them, you will lose your potential. You need another evil queen like Imes in your ranks to serve the Empire and destroy both Super Sentai and Power Rangers, said Drakina. That's right, said Bladearan. We need all the help we can to beat those accursed Super Sentai and Power Rangers. I guess you're right, said Radiguet. So the punishment for today is enough. But then, think what you two new recruits could do for me. But on the other hand, I will still continue my list of destructive activities to do. Thank you, sire, said Gilkey and Imes, who then also received an electric shock. Florius was then entering with a bottle of red wine to pour into Radiguet's glass, not realizing that he may be sent to his death any time soon. Just then he screwed up once more when all the wine poured onto the floor. Well, Florius, as usual, you screw up. You will never have to rethink about your service records as being always bad, said Radiguet, who then kicked him aside. Back to the heroes, the Changemen and Flashmen are eating at the Tokonatsu restaurant of Yuma together with the heroes. Who thought Earth food was this delicious, said Luca. We'll get more when we get home, Luca. The chef Genta is cooking more food than you ever imagined, said Captain Marvelous. Cole was also enjoying his time in the restaurant. However, it was soon time to leave for the future. The heroes were now being called back. I bid you farewell, said Commander Ibuki. And we too, said Captain Marvelous. The heroes prepared to depart for the future where the others were waiting for them. It was a really long day after all. Good job, Captain Marvelous, said Luca. Thanks, said Captain Marvelous. I do hope we can save this Earth, the most precious planet in the universe, said Luca. Adam, I guess a new life can start. Some relationships can start as if they were their first time, said Catherine. I think so too, Kat. But I was just wondering if there's anything going on between Billy and Ranu as of right now, said Adam. Cole realized that the true power of the Red Conqueror Gestalt was with other people. He wasn't going to let any disappointment stop him from his duties. Akka Red was counting on him to keep the balance of Super Sentai and Power Rangers. If Sakura can't like me, then I can't force her either. If I get her good, if I can't, I'll just accept it. But right now, I'll do whatever it takes to win her heart and win or lose gracefully in the end, and whatever her decision will be, I'll accept the outcome, said Cole to himself. Oh, Cole, now is not the time to think too much of Sakura. You still have more training to do, said Akka Red, who could read his thoughts. Oh, sorry, I got carried off, said Cole. Meanwhile, Takeru Shiba and Mako are still seen drawing kanji symbols, creating one rock after another, filling the place with boulders of rocks for Spike to pound. Spike can be seen with a very disturbed facial expression. I do hope you learn your lesson, Spike, that it's not polite to peep on women and play in the shower rooms, said Mako, who was still bringing in more rocks from the quarry. You'll keep pounding all these rocks until your quota is over, said Takeru Shiba. And just wait till he eats what I have prepared for him, said Mako, giggling. In fact, it's his welcoming dinner as your future stepfather. Oh, sure, Mako. I guess going to knock him out and that he'll repent his deeds, said Takeru Shiba, laughing. And I know you mean future stepfather in the other way around. Yeah, right, as if you'll ever accept him, said Mako. Just then Morning and Agre began bringing in more rocks. Takeru Shiba and Mako were then helping them unload the rocks at the labor area. No! No! Not more rocks! Please be merciful, said Spike. He was still in anguish as he was still pounding more rocks with a huge hammer. His arms were aching from all the hard labor. Well, keep pounding them, Spike, said Mako. Spike can be seen crying in a comedic manner while pounding gravelin with his foot was chained to a steel ball, the same kind of steel ball that was used to pin Area Natsuki down, which nullified any henshin powers. Kaoru then came in. Spike, it is time for dinner, said Kaoru. What's for dinner, my love? Asked Spike. Maybe we can eat together, but only if I can set a candle-lit dinner here, just you and me? Yukito's burned chicken cooked with lots of sugar as well as his famous sponge curry. Oh, Mako prepared some of her infamous yucky bento, said Kaoru. The smell of Yukito and Mako's cooking filled the place. Spike began to beg. Anything but that! Anything but that! Kaoru, my love, be merciful to me, said Spike. Well, you asked for it. Eat it or you will have no dinner at all, said Kaoru angrily. No! Said Spike as he smelled the awful food. Kaoru left, leaving Spike crying over his dinner. Spike can be seen disgusted over the food, but he decided to eat it anyway because he was too hungry. Worst of all, Kaoru wasn't paying any attention to him. Mako and Takeru Shiba were finally seen together at the new Skybase cafeteria, remembering their time at the fancy restaurant they had their lovely moment together. I do hope we can go to that fancy restaurant again, or somewhere else, said Mako. Sure, Mako, no problem, said Takeru Shiba. But as long as they don't ask me to cook for regular food, I'm fine. But Yukiko, the man, he can't see through what he can't do, said Mako. The scene ends with them together in the cafeteria, sharing their moments. You would think the bland-as-all-hell team-up would be all this chapter is, but no! Then it has to go and remind us about how Spike's torment is apparently meant to be humorous, as well as not so subtly foreshadowing Furious' painful death in the next two-parter. Speaking of which, if you're at all familiar with the Goseiger Shinkenger crossover movie, then you're gonna find next week's adventure, where our heroes lend their aid to Hikari Sentai Mask Man, all too familiar.